Those of you who have found ways, to wander away from home, you have become the prodigal son. And there's something about that parable. He is prodigal, but they still call him son. Never forget this truth. He is prodigal, but they still call him son. It means that you can begin to isolate God, isolate relationship with God, and begin to be a master of principles. That is how to ask for your inheritance, where you now know what to do if you want money, but that thing will not involve God, but you will use the principle of the kingdom. You know that you can give, but the giving is not because you wanted to bless somebody. You are giving just because you know what will trigger that action. You have become a master of principle. But what is supposed to trigger your giving was love. But love is no longer factored into the equation. Men now know what to do to get different results. So what happens to a man who wants to wield power? He knows that if he starts praying for a long time, if you stay in prayer for a long time, if he opens his mouth to speak, his tongue will be like the tongue of a cherub. So he goes to pray now, not to enjoy fellowship with God again. The reason for prayer is not to know God. The reason for prayer is what happens when he prays. So he spent 8 hours because he wanted to attend a crusade. Jesus has been removed from the equation. It's now about principles. A generation that don't have the heritage of their fathers. The fathers were men of the presence. We have become men of principles. We know the things to do to get results, and that is what it means to be a prodigal son. You demanded for your inheritance. You asked for what to do, the mysteries of the kingdom, so you possessed it. And the day you collected your inheritance will lead you away from home into a far country. And so you will find out that you are far from the Father, because you have now known how to isolate God from even spirituality. The average Christian knows what to do if he senses death is coming around him. He wakes up and begins to fast. And the reason for fasting, laid down by the ancient, if they give you the blueprint for fasting, is to plague and afflict your soul, and to do good and deal bountifully to the poor, and give to those who have not, and oil your hair and wear good garments. And when you do all these things, it was better from a tangent of love. You were going to seek God, seek fellowship. Our generation don't want to know God. We want to get the things that the things we do will bring. So men are talking about righteousness and living holy, although holiness is far from our borders. But the reason why somebody in this meeting here wants to live consistently holy is because of the anointing that he wants to come on his head. If he can go without sin for a long time, his need for holiness is not to please God. God is far from the equation. A prodigal generation. The devil prospered already in this. He knows that he has shown us different destinations that we can arrive.